We have a request from Justin Almonte Bernabel 2003 on what if future Trunks returned in the Majin Boo Arc. Much like in the BoJack film, Trunks returns to make sure things are going fine due to the differences that have been formed between timelines. Heading to age 774 not long after defeating his timeline Cell, he decides to arrive on the 9th of April, or the day Goku announced his return, arriving at Capsule Corporation in time to learn of it and is pleased to spar with his father. They both learn of the younger Trunks' power the next day, which shocks future Trunks with how different his young self's progression is, but uses this as an opportunity to grow this more parental Vegeta than during his last trip, allowing him to utilize his potential well enough to catch up to his child selves. Trunks has an easier win against Goten, and future Trunks takes Kila's place in the Budokai, but leaves with the other Saiyans all the same. When Babidi tells Dabura to dispose of all but 3, Trunks would be targeted, but that makes Vegeta far more active in combating Dabura before the latter falls back, with Trunks joining his father, Goku, and Gohan in taking on Babidi's group, not one to mess about with choosing turns via Janken. Trunks immediately disposes of Pui Pui and takes on Yakon, until deciding to transform and getting his light energy eaten. Goku then interrupting the fight and things going the same as normal. When Dabura shows up, Vegeta beats Gohan at Janken and quickly defeats Dabura before ranting about this being a waste of time. By enough, Babidi catches on to Vegeta's evil, and Majin Vegeta still happens. Trunks tries to plead with his father to not make the same mistakes as against Cell, but Vegeta keeps up his feigned regression by punching Trunks before having his fight with Goku. Trunks, Gohan, and Shin quickly deal with Babidi after accepting Goku and Vegeta's battle, but the damage dealt revives Boo not long after, and the team are helpless even with this desperate situation having Trunks awaken the Super Saiyan 2 form. In this scenario, Shin puts his efforts in assuring Trunks' survival, which unfortunately gives Gohan no way of survival against Boo's Ki Blast. Events then go the same, with Vegeta's sacrifice and Trunks taking Gohan's place and drawing out the Zetor sword, but Gohan being revived with the wish has Goku bring him to the Shinden, teaching he and the kids the fusion dance. Without Babidi targeting the Western capital, Goku has time to get Gohan to fuse with him and easily overpower Boo before destroying him with the biggest Kamehameha they can muster, with future Trunks being permanently dead as far as they know, and his timeline undefended from Babidi. Goku sees it as essential to go to New Namek with what time he has to revive Trunks, before learning he is still alive, instead reviving Vegeta. Trunks still sees his Shugyo to its conclusion when needing to defend his world against the possibility of Babidi, and ends up getting his potential unleashed with Goku spending the rest of his time with his family, going to the Kaioshinkai when time is up, and bidding Trunks farewell. With this, Trunks recommends Kibito bring Gohan and the kids there to get their potential unleashed before returning to his world, easily foiling Babidi's plans, and deciding he should free his Rodai Kaioshin. But before that, for Super, Beerus still asks about the Super Saiyan God, with Rodai Kaioshin giving his life so Goku can aid in the ritual, Goku attaining it as usual, and things going the same until the events with Zamasu. Goku Black arrives in Trunks' timeline and sees it as an opportunity to get rid of Shin. Trunks gets in the way but is still far from the level where he can take Black on just yet, with him using the Taioken so Shin can escape. It isn't long before Trunks realizes the greater levels of his potential and surpasses Black by the next time they fight, slaying him before Zamasu can intervene. The latter's immortality causes Trunks to decide it's best to get help from the Dragon Team, though through Shin's time ring rather than his own time machine. He learns the Mafuba from Piccolo, while Beerus raises the History 1 Zamasu, with Trunks then sealing the future Zamasu and saving his world. Future Shin assures his other self to use the time ring to meet him should he need Trunks' skills, which is soon after, with Trunks taking Boo's spot in a tournament of power instead of Frieza. Trunks stays with the group when wanting to be efficient, and having mixed feelings about fighting alongside 17 and 18, who have advanced advanced on the enemies, only rushing forward when many enemies have been defeated, and being the one to defeat Kefla rather than Gohan. It still takes much out of Trunks, who is defeated soon after, and Gohan's assistant isn't much help against Jiren until after he's been fatigued, where it's he and Goku to bring Jiren out of the ring, and have 17 be the winner. Trunks returns to his world with a new perspective in Scene 17, having become the multiverse's saviour. Without Frieza, Broly isn't disturbed. Meris approaches Goku and Vegeta directly to have them aid against Moro. Not having to oversee Boo means Meris holds on to Goku when teleporting to New Namek, and opposes Moro without having to put his existence at stake against a far weaker version of him, with this being enough for Goku to get healed by enough to use Shunkan Ido to get a Senzu for he and Vegeta before they destroy Moro. Meris then assists Whis' tutelage of the two, and advances their progress. Moro not getting further than New Namek means the Granola arc doesn't occur in any capacity, and the events of Super Hero are near enough the same, beyond Goten and Trunks being of slightly more help against Cell Max. For GT, future Trunks' more liberal use of the time machine and experience of unforeseen threats cropping up means he assures it's fully energized, something useful when Baby sets his sights on Earth. Trunks goes to the past and informs everyone on Baby, with Shin scouting out the universe to find the recent actions of Ludism on planet Lud, as a good starting point for clues. Both Trunkses, Goten, and the stowaway Pan go to find out about this, with the Trunks duo defeating Lud before they can go to level 3, and making their way to M2. Future Trunks is able to fight against Rild with his prepared and serious mindset causing him to train enough to be far stronger, defeating Rild before marching on Mew's lab. Baby still survives their attempt to destroy him, but isn't so lucky on Pital, where future Trunks' desire to defend the greater good has him prepared to destroy his younger self, before Baby flees his body and is enveloped by a finish buster that destroys him entirely, still not having what's necessary to defeat the completed Baby of his timeline. Future Trunks goes to Rodai Kaioshin for advice, who regretfully decides to use Namek's Dragon Balls to wish for Trunks to have the tail he wasn't born with, and telling him to get his world's Shin to use his powers to bring a planet near Earth. Trunks does this, brings his younger self in Pan along to help, becomes a Golden Ozaru, and achieves Super Saiyan 4 when Pan brings his rationality to him. Baby is easily destroyed, and Kibito goes about erasing Baby's eggs. Vegeta is made aware of what happened, and, not wanting to be helpless against any future threats, demands he get his tail restored too. He goes through it the hard way as someone who naturally has one, but achieves the form nonetheless. Super 17 is easily dealt with before he can absorb any ki, and the inevitable rise of the evil dragons are dealt with swifter, but Yi Shenlong still absorbs the Dragon Balls, having created the Brute Waves machine rather than dealing with a nearby planet. Bulma is able to have Gohan quickly attain the form to aid Vegeta, which, with what is implied about the half Saiyan's potential in GT, is enough to destroy Yi Shenlong and bring peace to the Earth. The Dragon Balls leave Earth, and the Dragon Team are sure they will have the strength to defend Earth, even without them. It's in this scenario that we see future Trunks' strength of character as one of the more efficient members of the Dragon Team, whose decision making would lead to far quicker resolutions to conflicts than normal, and how that would make this time traveller the vicarious saviour of many timelines. Thank you if having watched through to the end. Request a what if of your own in the comments, or a different video idea, and subscribe to assure you see it, along with helping it reach others through the algorithm. With that, I'll see you next time.